He's coming, y'all. He's coming. He's coming, y'all. Listen, we're super excited to have you guys on Meet the Couch with the Fombys. Okay, let me just say that again. All right, that's what happened when it's only one Fumby on the couch.
I'm sorry, baby.
On the couch with the Fombys. Yeah, so we're super excited to have you guys here with us on tonight. So listen, y'all know before we get started and with all of this juicy talking stuff, have been testing my real relationship with my real man, okay? Yes. I just want y'all to know that I am tested, y'all. I am being tested. I'm being tested. Oops. Okay. I don't know. What happened? You know, I ain't got my glasses on.
Oh, help you, Jesus.
Oh, God.
Are you live?
Yeah, I am live. I ain't got my glasses on.
I got, what are you doing?
Okay, trying to go back to Instagram.
Okay.
Pull it up.
Jesus.
Okay.
What did you do?
Just pull up Instagram.
Hold on, I'm trying.
It is. Okay, there it is. There it is.
Hey, guys.
That's
Sorry.
That's good. See what happened? Ooh, when it's just one of us.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay.
So listen, you guys. So first of all, this Meet the Couch with the Funny stuff, like real stuff been happening in my life. So to give us something to talk about when we come
I don't
and
know.
talk,
You
like,
think God be doing this
like,
or will it be us?
It may be God.
Okay.
I don't know. I may be God, it may be the devil. I don't know. So listen. So when I was telling you guys about my preliminaries, I was telling you guys, first of all, we want to see you at Prophetic Con 4.0, the Unchurched Conference. So listen, you guys, it is going to be absolutely amazing.
Yes,
if you guys have not seen the flyer, you need to go look again because we just added a men's session. And
Where my dogs at? I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
My homies, I can't wait. Listen, that is going to be one of the most realest sessions because I know Mr. Tommy Wilson that we're bringing and myself. Just get there because both of our stories are incredibly encouraging. And
Man.
it really is going to help a lot of men. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's going to help men heal.
Yeah.
And to be made whole. And so there are a lot of things that's available for, women, but when real men talk and real men heal, man, it is phenomenal. It changed the whole trajectory of the world. Like when men are healed, our families are healed, our churches are healed, our businesses are healed, the world is healed. So I'm super excited about that session. So the Lord have us to call it the Unchurched Conference because this year is this is not just like your typical church service and stuff like that. Like this one, we're going to really get down to the heart of the matter. And so I'm super excited about the Unchurched Conference. So listen, so tonight I am excited about our topic, you guys. So the topic that I put is should I or shouldn't I in relationships? And so, should I or shouldn't I in relationships, okay?
Right.
Okay, so.
Say it 3 times.
Okay, shouldn't I or shouldn't I in relationship? Shouldn't I or shouldn't I?
You start speaking tongue.
You
gonna hit us with
So first of all, should you put your arm around me like that a lot?
Let's ask people, should I or should I not? Trust me, I definitely should. Definitely should. She feels better when she's closer. There you go. That works.
All right, thank you. So now I can function.
Right.
So we're going to talk about today, should I or shouldn't I in relationships, okay? So, are there anything like in particular that you just have in mind that you shouldn't? I got
Should not.
Should not.
You want to do should not first?
Okay. Let me do should not. Let me ask you a should not.
Let me tell you about
Okay.
from the first chapter
Well, can I?
of the should not.
Okay, so can I ask you a should not?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, should you not have girl as friends while being married? I got y'all. Let go. I'm ready.
Okay, so I think that's a loaded question.
It is a loaded question.
All right, and number one, I believe.
Okay.
I'm gonna just put this disclaimer out there.
Okay.
I believe that they should do what the level of maturity allows through the other spouse. For example,
Okay.
if they have a history of being inappropriate with the opposite sex, then after you're married, I could understand why you would have concerns there. But if they're just an outgoing person and genuinely a nice like person or a nice guy, and you know that's just their character, don't let your emotions make you be like, yeah, he ain't got to do all like what who you thinking about. Like I think that that comes from a place of insecurity sometimes for women that they use as a tool against men that end up them resenting the woman they're with because they like, I'm just trying to be myself.
Yes.
But I do also believe in boundaries. So there should be a healthy boundary with the opposite sex. But personally, I don't think that there's an issue with having a friend of the opposite sex.
Well, so what I'm hearing you saying is, so if the person, the spouse or the person that you're in a relationship with, if they are the ones that have caused the insecurity in the relationship from the other, from the
from the other spouse, like if you cause a level of insecurity,
yes,
then you should like you can't put a time limit on how that person needs to heal.
Right. And I also feel like that other person should be the one that established the boundaries.
Yeah.
So like for instance, if you have caused insecurity, so it make you feel insecure, not because I am an insecure person, but because there are things that were done.
Okay, that was
I know, okay.
Because I was
Hey,
gonna say,
let's
here's
slow
my
down
other,
a little bit.
Yeah, let me ask you this question.
Okay.
You said that person makes the other person feel
That's
secure.
what I was thinking.
Already came with insecurities that you just kind of it revealed. Think about the ones that
Okay. That is a good question. But I feel like when you're married to someone, that person helps you to heal. That person helps you to overcome like the insecurity. So if you already know, like for instance, that you know I'm insecure about my weight, and then when you come into contact with someone of the opposite sex, you be like, man, she fine. Like you focusing on her body weight, her body image, and then you talk about this
because you could be like, should you have a friend if you feel like she's prettier than your wife? Like that's a whole different like situation.
Oh, it is. But also just thinking about like the insecurity. So I'll say this. If there are insecurities that I came into the relationship with, I do agree that the other spouse or the other person that you're in a relationship with can help you heal. I also believe that this is where the person who had the insecurity, that they have to work on inner healing as well to overcome those insecurities that they may have that could be limiting the relationship. Because there are times where God may have you to have a friend of the opposite sex. But if I allow my insecurities to step in, then you may not be able to develop that relationship that is necessary for the way that God would have it to be.
That's true.
Now, I will is that if you are going to have female friends with like your friend Stephanie, yeah, like so you have a female friend that you have had prior to us being married, then I feel that these are just my feelings. Then that person should become my friend, or at least the door is open so that we can establish a relationship. Like, don't go around the corner talking to him. Like, don't be texting and calling my man all types of, you know, like I think boundaries.
I think that that's a wonderful way to look at it when it comes to making sure that, I would say, for lack of a better words, you're not bleeding your insecurities onto your spouse, because of that, but because of your. But I also agree with the fact, like one thing that I think you have to take into account is the level of where that person was in life when you found them.
Definitely.
Because, for example, you already had friends and different things that were you know, of the opposite sex. I knew that because of what you do, how your personality was. I knew coming in, like I didn't, of course, we were just friends. So I never really was thinking about it like that. Now, when we got married, things changed a little bit because I was like, yo, you know, what's up with, but I knew I could not let that insecurity of what happened in my previous relationships bleed over into this. So I was always respectful because I'm like, don't do that, because I'm a very avid believer that what you resist will persist. Like if you're always
wow, wait a
thinking,
minute, hold on. What you resist will persist. That's good.
I feel like, and what I mean by is like if you're resisting the level of, you're saying this, but you're resisting that feeling, and you're not acknowledging that you maybe are feeling insecure, you're resisting that.
Yes.
It's going to keep persisting inside of you.
My God, it's
until
so good.
you find a way to healthily communicate it with your spouse, or deal with what happened that made you insecure,
or it's going to come out in an unhealthy way.
Facts.
And so your spouse is not going to understand why you're overreacting, or why you're responding in this manner regarding this relationship when it had not been communicated that there are some feelings of insecurities. And so I just feel like, it's very important to be open about the nature of that relationship, because if it's somebody that you've sexually engaged with before, that's a whole nother story. Because if it's somebody that you sexually engaged with, which you can sexually engage with a friend, sometimes people do that out of comfort. It could have been a moment of weakness, out of relief. Yeah, and it's just a friend. It really is just a friend. And
so here's my question about
okay. All
right,
okay,
we're gonna talk about it.
Okay,
we're gonna get into it.
Okay,
all right.
Okay.
So with that, at what level does a person go back and uncover that, if they're still, like, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If they're already way past, it may have been 8-9 years ago, whatever the case may be.
Baby.
How, and here's the thing, because, I'm going to be real. Drake made a song about it.
Okay, what he said?
He was like,
because you don't know.
He was like, I forgot the exact lyrics, but he was like, why would you introduce me to him when you know what we did? But he was saying, like, why would you introduce me? And he spoke to do whatever, some type of lyric, I can't remember. But the whole point is, at some point, when is the past the past?
Okay, so I feel like now this is going to be like a catch-20. I don't know, catch-22 or something. Okay. I feel like the past will always be a part of even your now.
Okay, explain that.
Meaning that if you've sexually engaged with that person one time in the past, it still matters to me now. That is just the best way.
I think that's prerogative.
No, I just feel like it does matter. And I feel like when you're in a relationship with someone, you shall let me know, and then let me.
You say you shall?
You shall.
You have to, you must, you shall. You so safe.
Like I'm just saying.
Hey, excuse me. You shall put cheese on my son.
I'm just saying, like
a commandment.
Listen.
I'm screaming. That's funny.
You shall let me know about the nature of the relationship 100%. And give me an opportunity to discern, because I'm spiritual, so I can discern, I can see. Because the nature of the relationship could have shifted.
That's also true.
And it takes a level of maturity. But since in this scenario, you all have had sexual activity, it would not be any single moments or days without thy presence. Thou shalt be in the midst of every conversation.
Can we not use shall? Those are 10 commandments.
I'm just saying, like, thou.
You shall and thou.
Thou and do. Listen.
Okay, can I ask you a should and shouldn't question?
Okay, can we make sure that we are thou and shall clear?
Yes, of course. Okay, but here's it. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Can I ask you a should and shouldn't?
Oh, but you put the arm around me.
What you mean? I always do
I
that.
know, but I'm putting mine right here.
Bruh.
Okay. I'm putting mine. Okay. All right.
Let me ask you a should and shouldn't.
Okay, hold my hand when you ask it.
All right, cool. So, should. I'm gonna ask you a should.
Okay, should. Okay.
Should a person coming into something with, their love, the love of their life, the one they found, should a person uncover everything in their past?
Oh, that is such a good question. Oh my God. All right. So let me just say this.
Because
Let me just look. I'll say this. So first of all, it's hard to uncover everything in your past.
100%.
There are some things that I literally have forgotten about. There's some like for real. Sometimes things are not triggered to my remembrance until like something happened or I may see somebody.
Okay.
I think there should be a level of openness where you're not intentionally holding anything back. I remember when you and I, we were, yeah, you and I, we were friends and we were just talking.
Oh, God.
And I remember.
Can I just put a clause? Okay. I would have never revealed so much.
Oh, so you're saying, though, you wouldn't have told.
What, if we were just, if I knew I was going to be your husband?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, so you think that there are things that you should conceal from your past?
I feel like there is a level of where, how does this move us forward and what relevance does it have? Because somebody can act something that has no relevance just to like try to pick apart something about you.
Who can determine when, especially when you're married and you're getting married, who can determine what is considered relevant?
Well, see, here's the thing. I didn't like. I'm not saying like for me. I'm glad I did.
But what you just said though,
if I knew back then,
yeah,
no, I wouldn't have. I don't think I would have revealed as much so quick because I would
so
have,
quick. Okay, add that clause.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. Well, so quick.
Okay.
I wouldn't have revealed so much so quick because there's a different level of friendship that you may not reveal to a person you're trying to put your best on for.
Okay, well,
there's a different level of transparency.
Hold on, but in the person that you're supposed to, that you're going to get married to, shouldn't this also be your friend where you do reveal that level of transparency? My thing.
Okay, so here's my question: are we asking from our perspective, because this is a very unique situation.
Yeah, our situation is very unique, but still is a question I feel like it needs to be addressed.
Okay.
Here's my thing. I never want people to have a one up on me concerning you.
Facts.
And right. So that means that I want you to reveal to me as much. I want to know everything. Right. I want to know everything. So that I can be positioned differently.
Okay, so
I don't want anybody to feel like they know something about my spouse. I don't even put me in the same room. I mean, like, don't let me be in the same room with someone that you done been sexually engaged.
Okay, so here's also the next thing. It's like I said, you just said it would be a person that would trigger your remembrance because you have a long past time before you. Yes. So my whole point in saying that was I would not mentally, it wouldn't make sense to be as transparent because it wasn't like necessary in the beginning. Like you're getting to know that person. Like if you're dating, you're getting to know that person. If we're talking about they're moving on, they're getting ready for marriage, yes, a very serious.
Oh, okay. So you're talking about like in different stages of the relationship.
Right.
Now, I'm not just going to meet you day one and then I'm about to tell you all of this.
That's what I'm saying. You got to think about me and you. That's what I'm thinking about.
No,
I told you everything by day 3.
But
my whole life story.
Yeah, I don't know. I think like again, our situation was very unique.
Right.
Right. So I let me make sure.
Hold on 1 second, guys. You guys make sure we switch to the right.
All right. So
but back what I was saying is that I believe that there was a level, like you taught me, I don't know if I ever told you this. You taught me how to let go of the past. And what I mean by that, even when it came to concerning things that I wanted to know more with you, there was a certain level of where you're like, what relevance does it carry? And everything that I wanted to know, I realized was I had to look at it. He was like, why? Why? What does it have to do with what we have now? How does that help us moving forward? That's why I say should or should you not? Reveal. Because there is so much that I'm just an open person. Like I'm pretty open. Right. You were a little different than I was.
Yeah, I'm like
you were. So even in that, like I feel like I had. Yeah, you should. Who cares? But you were like, nah.
No, I care. So here's what I am understanding now, is that information should be also revealed based upon the maturity level of the person that you're dealing with. Maturity and as much as they are healed.
So who
As
judges
as
that?
as much as they
Who
are
judges
healed.
that though?
Is that not
Who judges
is that not in the eye
of the
of
beholder? So that means that you're judging where a person is based off of what?
based upon how they acting, how they respond to other circumstances, situations, how they act. Like if I see like somebody is, maybe immature in the way that they handle this circumstance and situation, me telling them this is only if okay, this right here. Okay, how about this? If you're dealing with someone that's an avid cheater, and they have been, yes, and I don't use big words.
My God, not avid.
So if they're an avid cheater and have been in their past, and they finally come into contact with this person that they've said like, oh my God, I'm going to commit my whole life to him or whatever.
Right.
Okay. If the person that they're committing their life to knew about all of the times where they have cheated, how they have been deceptive,
Right.
and getting their way,
I totally believe that.
and now you're saying that you're faithful to me, that's going to build still, that person's going to have insecurity, not because you have done something wrong. They're going to have insecurity just based upon your history. And I'm not saying are you hearing me say keep secrets?
No, I mean,
Are you hearing me
I
say?
get what you're saying. I think there's just a level of fairness.
I don't know. This is very hard because
It really
the
is, 'cause it's
person
like-
may want to know about your history because they don't want to be shocked. They don't want to be surprised. They don't want to be in a room with someone that you have had some type of relationship with, and
they don't
everybody
know.
else knows.
They're
but
walking
you don't
up,
know.
shaking hands, like, "Hey, how you doing?" Like,
Yeah, like that.
bro,
like
what?
that part right there.
I feel you on that.
Yeah. Oh, so should I or shouldn't I?
So I feel we're talking about in a marriage, or we're talking about before we get married. So there's so many different parameters.
It really is.
Because when you say should I not, once you're married,
Everything
is that really
off
a
limit.
choice?
Yeah. Once you're married, I feel like everything is off limit. You tell me whatever.
I wanna know.
I want to know. I ask you about, like, if you have something that's in your heart where you say, you know what, I'm not telling nobody about this. Like, I don't think that's fair when you're married to someone.
Well, I also true, but I also don't think it's fair for a person to sit and just try to find out all the dirt because they feel like that person knows more than about them than they do about others. I think that's unfair. I don't think you should do it for that reason. But I do believe if something comes up where they ask, I think there should be a no holds barred there.
It is. And again, I say it too, like based upon maturity, because I literally just put on the social media page a few days ago, is just to be careful about who you share your pain and your history with, because some people come into your life
and they'll use it.
They use it.
They'll say things
the worst thing
that they know will kill you.
Oh my God.
For what? That's what. Okay, let me tell you. Before we even act, I ain't even gonna give a question. Let me tell you
shouldn't.
A clear shouldn't. That should never happen.
Shouldn't.
Never. No excuse. I've been guilty of it. We've been guilty of it. And what I find out is that you should never use something that was shared in that moment where you guys were giving each other, like, okay, this is me on the table. I'm being vulnerable, take it or leave it. And that person uses it when they're angry. Like,
that part right there.
Just, bro, it makes no sense. I was in a marriage. Here's what happens. You ever heard somebody say, man, I should, but they don't? When you think of that, the reason you should not is because there is so much more work you will have to do to have to try and go back and try and heal what you said.
Oh my God.
Let me tell you guys something. There is
That's
no
hard.
taking back what you say once it leaves your mouth.
There's somebody request to be online.
They ain't got a profile pic.
Oh, they ain't got a profile pic.
Nah.
Okay.
But the reason I say that is because moment of transparency in my last marriage, you know, I was married peons ago, right? And I remember being so angry. I was so young. I got married at 20, divorced at 25. But I remember my ex-wife and I got in an argument. And I said something that was just like, boom. And I said it real, you know, I was young and immature. And my dad had told me something. And he said, son, it'll take you at least a couple of years to erase what you just did. I said, and I was like, man, no way. Like I just said, and I realized the enemy is so slick and he's so cunning that you don't like, even though that person's your spouse, you don't have the privilege to have a clear, transparent to see what they're thinking all the time. We can guess, we can be around. So you don't know what you say that is the trigger to something that they didn't remember that now brings it back. And when they see you and they lay down with you, they have to look at the same person that's like, I love you, but they use that. So that's just a clear shouldn't.
That's a shouldn't.
That
Okay.
never, under no circumstance,
Under no
is it ever acceptable.
Acceptable to use what someone have shared with you in transparency as a way to hurt them. I don't care if they end up hurting you later on, still as an integral person, not to share what someone else have shared with you.
I feel like it'd be better to just like leave for a day.
Yeah.
And just calm down. I'd rather them call you, try to find out, look, I need 24 hours, I'll hit you back later. That's more respectable.
Yeah.
Man, that gives my blood here.
So I can say what a should is. Okay. So some of the comments. Once you release those hurtful words, you can't take it back. Words are powerful. That was Angela. Melitra said you can't take it back.
Yep.
Pam said people do that all the time to hurt you. Yep. Angela said that happened to me. Lola said facts. Be careful who you share your pain and history with.
Right.
Queen Tall T said that's it. The main reason would be for women is just not having someone have a one up on our spouse.
I respect
or
that.
Finding out something that should have been communicated. Of course, I'll be pissed off.
That's dudes too, though. They ain't just women.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to be in a room with. Come on, bro. Don't do me like that.
Yeah. So one of the things that I think is a should in a relationship, I think that you should at all times protect the one that you're in a relationship with.
Got to.
Whether it is a friendship, whether it is a marriage, engagement, if it's your leaders, it doesn't matter. I just feel like you should protect the relationship. And what does that mean? That means not engaging or being involved in conversation that is not lifting or encouraging the other person. I'm not even going to sit at the table while you're talking about someone that I respect.
Right.
Yeah. Like, I just feel like you should at all times. I don't care. If you come, first of all, nobody gonna come and tell me anything about my spouse. I like, that's just off limits. We've been married almost 2 years now. We're working on 2 years, and nobody has ever come to me because, like, I guess I just have that demeanor that I'm just not even gonna play about it. Like, I don't even play about it.
Right.
Here's the thing. If I so happen to have heard something while someone is sharing something about you, one thing that you're not going to know is that I don't know what you're talking about. You're not going to know that I don't know. Because when you're in a relationship with someone, you have to cover.
Yeah.
You have to cover that relationship. Yeah. Man, like, and the biblical story about this is Noah's sons.
Right.
When Noah's sons found him drunk, one son uncovered and the other son covered. And the one that uncovered, God handled him. And so that right there showed me the importance of covering in a relationship. And I've seen so many times where, especially in heated conversations where the other person is exposed.
Okay, I got another should or shouldn't.
Okay.
Should or should you not cover a person at the expense of your own detriment?
At the expense, what do you mean?
Meaning that
if both of us getting ready to go to
at the cost of your being torn down, but you're just covering anyway.
Okay, give me
so for example, somebody's doing something that at home I got to cover my spouse, but it's mentally messing with you. So now you're like, oh, I got to cover, but it's messing you up mentally. So now should you keep covering or should you seek help? And in terms, it will look like uncovered, but at the same time, it's like there's no one there to help.
Yeah. So I feel like you should be able to go out and seek help yet in a way that still covers your spouse.
Right.
Like when you leave the conversation, managing how the person that you were talking to, just managing as much as you can the way that they view like your spouse when you leave here. So I just would assume that you'll talk to somebody that's, if you're talking about us, I'll assume that you'll talk to somebody that's, like.
Well, I mean, not just us. I'm saying like a therapist, because some people will think that I've actually talked to someone, and it was a close friend of mine, do something personally, and I told him to go. You probably should talk to a therapist because their person they were trying to cover, the person wouldn't. But the person didn't want to go to therapy, didn't want them to say nothing about it, didn't want them, didn't want them to pretty much do nothing, I guess. And eventually, they're not together today. But I was just looking at it and I was like, man, and what's the cause? I'm sorry, that person was like trying to get help, but they got to cover. But they're trying to get help. You see what I'm saying?
So I think like if the other person isn't willing to go and get help, you go and get as much help as you can to work. If the other person doesn't want to get help, I would go and get as much help as I can to work through the situation as much as I can. Like, I just want to make sure that I've done my part. What I've realized because I am a believer, is that I just want to make sure that I've done everything that I can do to make the relationship work.
Right.
I don't want there to be blood on my hand. So if that means that if you don't want to go, all right, cool. But I'm gonna go and I'm gonna just
try
work.
to help for you.
Yeah.
I think, man,
because there's always fault in every person.
For sure.
In something that we could have done better.
I feel like, okay, should or should you not? I would say, I'll say that question.
Oh my God. Okay. All on the table. Somebody said all on the table. Okay, what?
What?
What's the question?
No, I think I'm just saying, should or should you not, I would say,
I got one.
Okay.
Should you and your spouse go to the same church?
I think that's just left up. I think that's subjective. I know two spouses. I know spouses go to separate churches, and they have a great marriage.
Okay.
But I think that if you do, you should, for lack of a better words, separate church and state. And what I mean by state, the state of your marriage, I don't feel that you should be in a situation where you're always trying to tell that person you need to lead it. I think that it should be a level of balance. I don't think you should bring it home my pastor says this and my pastor said this and it, because that can cause confusion.
Oh yeah, especially if you're here, especially if the beliefs systems are not the same.
The doctrines
are different. So, that could definitely bring conflict.
So I don't think they have to. I don't think you have to.
Yeah.
But I think you definitely should make sure you keep whatever it is that you guys have here growing spiritually. There's a healthy thing this is where we converge. Okay. This is where we merge, and this is what we take for our marriage. I may get what I personally, when we go back here, I'm not going to say my pastor's doctrine is better than yours, like, because that just brings up so much contention. I don't think
that's good. I have one more.
Okay.
Should spouses have separate bank accounts?
Ooh. I think yes, and I would say, but make sure you have one together. Like, I think that's ignorant. Okay. Why get married and keep everybody got separate bank accounts?
Okay.
I think when you have, because of the strength that money carries, there's a level of when I see my name and your name, this is a power thing. This is what we do. This is how we move here.
Okay.
To do other stuff, it's always, okay, I can have this there, I can have this there. I do know, though, some marriages where completely it's in separate names and they have separate responsibilities.
I've seen where spouses have, like, it's 50-50.
They just had a thing on that. Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade.
Oh, wow. About 50-50. What is your viewpoint on that?
On 50-50?
Yeah.
Man, I think it's I don't say necessary. I think it's fair. But
50-50 in a relationship, you telling me, like, okay, I need your half of the mortgage.
No,
I need your half of the water bill.
I think that's fair. But I said I also think that it depends on where that person may be. Like because for example, I've seen plenty of movies, different situations where someone's seeking something that is, it takes them off of what they were normally doing to go try to go up or level up or whatever, and one person has to carry the weight. So I don't think that 50-50 is a law, but I think that if it switches from time to time and it has to go to 50-50, it's a team. It shouldn't be that like...
Right, so if it's a team, then I mean, why does it have to be 50-50? Like...
Well, that's like one. I feel like I'm saying if
as the man of the household, why would he? I don't understand.
Somebody said there's no such thing as 50-50.
Yeah, like I don't think so.
Well, let me rephrase it there. I'm saying that.
Well, these are just my thoughts now.
I think that 50-50 is.
Well, you give me 100.
I would say I think 50-50 is fair consent, like pending the situation. Like if your significant other is injured, they're 50 or they're what they were taking care of, they may not be able to do it the same way.
Yeah, but you're saying 50-50 though. Like that scenario, I feel like is totally different. I'm saying like with Gabrielle Union them, they said 50. Like if we got $100, she's saying she get 50, he get 50.
No, but it's not. They were saying it's not on everything. But I mean, they have their things set up where it's like, okay, we take care of this half and half, but I may take care of this whole thing. You take care of that whole thing.
But that's not 50-50.
I'm saying in certain situations it may be like a 50-50. It don't mean the whole marriage is 50-50. I wasn't saying the whole marriage.
Okay, 50-50. That's what I was gathering. I was like, well, what?
I said I think it's fair pending the situation.
Pending the situation. That's what I think. I think I'm getting lost in the word is fair.
So you're saying that
because why 60-40 isn't? Why 70? Why 100-100? Like
I just feel like maybe I'm saying it wrong. Maybe I'm not saying it the way I want to say it. I just think that both it's 100% in the marriage. Okay. And if they want to purchase something,
yes,
and they say, "Hey, can you give me this? I want to get this." Well, you can get it. Well, man, I want you to get it too. All right, cool. Boom. That was 50-50.
How was that 50-50?
I paid half, you paid half. 50-50. If it was $100 and you had 50, but you had 100, you just wanted my 100. I mean, you wanted my 50 because you didn't feel like paying the whole 50.
Yeah.
Depending on the situation of what it is, like, okay, I don't care. So I was just saying 50-50, like from maybe too much of a literal perspective.
I think so because that was hard. That's hard.
So let's see what they say.
Okay.
So Red Legal Side also said there's no such thing as 50-50. And then Queen Talk T, I don't mind having a shared account, also like having my own.
I
right.
agree.
I mean, that's what we have, when you look at a ball game, everyone doesn't have the capacity to contribute equally.
That's exactly.
Right. So
everybody doesn't have the capacity to contribute equally. I just feel like when you're in a marriage, like let's take the percentage off. Let's see what we can do together.
Facts.
And everything is shared. Income is shared, the expenses is shared. And like there'll be times where you may cover the whole weight.
What I'm saying.
Yeah, whole weight.
So
there may be times where I'm covering the weight, but it's still coming from our 100 together. So my thing is this.
Mm-hmm.
If you make plans to live separately from your spouse, you are prophetically declaring that you will have to live separately from your spouse.
1000%.
So if you feel like you have to hide money from your spouse, what you don't know is that you're prophetically declaring that you're going to have to one day go into this hidden stash that you have and live separately from your spouse.
Yes.
I don't think that, and I haven't looked at it like that before, but I don't think that people realize, like, when you secretly hide stuff or you do something, one day you may have to eat from that secret table. Man.
But what if one person is, like you said, what if the level of maturity is like they're putting the family in a hole because they keep making the decision because they don't have the discipline?
Now that right there, that's a whole nother issue. Now we gonna talk about it, okay? We gonna talk about it. And if things continue, you got one other time. I ain't even lying. I ain't even finna sit here in front like I'm finna sit here and just let you squander. Nah, like I ain't talking about you person, but like whoever I'm in a relationship with, and let you squander. Nah, I'm sorry, because I feel like that'll make me a bad steward. Now we're gonna have a conversation. I'm gonna let you have that one grace. But then there's gonna have to be an arrangement, because here's the thing, before, back in the day, they was like men was to, control all of the money and all of that stuff. And it was never based upon maturity level. It wasn't based upon whether or not he was good at it. It was like, he the man, you're married to him, you submit, and you just give him all your stuff. It was almost as if women didn't have. Yeah.
They said, there was an old saying back in the day that was very, controversial.
Yeah.
It's like, it was a joke, but it's really, I feel like how back then they viewed it. They said, how do you want your woman? It's like, man, I want her barefoot and pregnant.
Yeah.
Like that was a mindset.
But how you gonna want somebody barefoot and pregnant you can't take care of them?
It wasn't about that. I feel like that. So that's why I feel what has evolved, you got to think about it. That's 40, 50 years ago.
Exactly.
And now you got women VPs, women CEOs, like some of the richest women in the world. Preachers, people in the world, women.
Yeah.
So and then scientifically, so that's one thing I definitely want to talk to men about, is that the level of what they perceive, should or should you not feel that your value is changing as a man due to a level of a status or a financial thing.
Yeah.
Because provider was always in the back of the day, back in the day was referred to as the financial.
Yeah.
So they didn't provide a lot of emotional security because they was out doing a lot of whatever. They didn't provide safety because some of them were abusive. They didn't provide truth because they were, lying about stuff.
Yeah.
So I could be, as long as I provide a finance, you can lack everywhere else you're supposed to provide. So it's a tricky
Yeah, so that's
situation.
what I was about to say regarding the account and just giving everything over to a man. Nowadays, things are different. I feel like there's women are doing more. They're with more wisdom and counsel that is being given in marriages.
Right.
And one of the best advice I feel that a married couple can take is you set the rules for your house.
That's
like it does not, your household.
Don't nobody else live with you.
Listen, let me tell you this. That's my thing. Your household, even when it comes down to sex, does not have to look like the household of somebody else. You can go. You can go to church and your pastor can be preaching like you don't do this in the bed, Man, that's not our conviction.
Right.
That ain't our conviction. And I ain't gonna sit there. Hey, listen, let me say this first of all. I just think like when it comes to managing like the money and stuff like that, it depends on the strength of the person in the relationship. You know, sometimes people do it together. Sometimes one turn it over to the other. It just depends on the strength in the relationship, and it's a conversation that should be had. Now, back to my thing about when the pastor says something.
I'm screaming.
So I remember we was at church and my pastor.
What?
No, don't say what it was about.
Oh, what is
He,
it?
he was okay. He was teaching. He was teaching about something.
Ha!
And so Jeremiah, he know my belief concerning what my pastor was talking about. Now I was amen the whole time, and I knew I felt your eyes burning right here in my side. And when he started talking about this, I'm like.
I was like,
Yeah.
you want amen?
No, amen. no, amen. Because I'm just not that type. I'm not gonna amen.
Keep it 1,000 wow.
I just gotta keep it 1,000 until I have a different conviction. Right now, I just don't have the same conviction.
I think
but
that
it don't make me wrong because he's right.
I think that it's a back to what you were saying.
Yeah.
It's a 100% interpretive or subjective to the person that you are in like life with.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes people take too much stock into what someone may say that works for them and try to reinvent the wheel when something's already working for themselves and their spouse.
Yeah. So today I have gone to the doctor, and the young lady who was at the desk, like she was so excited to finally meet me in person because she said that she watched us, and she was saying that she watched us in one other person, and she was like she didn't do something this month because she never want to make anybody an idol or a god just because this person said it. And I told her this. My advice to her, I said, if I can tell you anything, I said, I want you to always remember that people, leaders and all of that, they are preaching and they're teaching from the divine revelation that has been given to them, and also based upon their convictions and their experiences as well. And it is going to be key for you and how you keep people from becoming an idol is that you develop a relationship with God as well.
That's the most paramount.
That way you can judge what is being said, because one of the best advice that I've recently received from someone, and I'm gonna share it publicly with you guys since you're listening, is that oftentimes people combine the beliefs of a person with the characteristics of a person, which means that let me just break it down like this. I may believe this, but my character may say this, and oh babe,
What?
I'm trying to say what's the best. It's so hard, trying to talk without saying.
I mean, so you're saying say the first part again. You said that a person.
All I'm saying is that let me just keep it simple because I'm trying to cover it at the same time. Let me just keep it simple. Is that just make sure that you develop an authentic relationship with God.
Yeah, I think here's the thing. If you don't, what you run the risk of is being taken advantage of by wolves in sheep's clothing. And what I mean by that, everyone that I believe, because I'm a PK.
Yeah.
I grew up in it. And one thing I do, appreciate is that now that I am where I am, and God is, doing things in the trajectory of what I believe, I realized how everything was built up to this moment. And one thing I can say is that what I've learned about just ministry of church and faith and being a believer, and should you or should you not. Like, if you do not chase after God for yourself, everything that they say you'll take, and you won't even fact check it. You won't look to see if it had any context to, like you said, their experience.
Yeah.
You won't see if it had any context to how they have, you know, what they believed, what they've been brought up under. So I'm not saying you have to go and go, well, I don't believe that, because that is a level of, I feel like, you just being stubborn,
pride and
rebellion.
Like
God wouldn't put you in a place for you not to heed
or
your leader
to
or listen
and things like that. Yes.
Because a lot of times our will, he puts them in place for them to be able to, hey, that's not what that was supposed to mean.
And to help us to have a different viewpoint.
Right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there are also those who will say that because they know if they keep a person mentally dependent upon that fear of, Pastor, what I did this, is God going, well, I don't know. We probably need to pray about it. And it don't be that serious.
Why your voice changed?
Because that I've seen that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been in church my whole life.
Yeah.
And one thing I could not stand is someone. That's why when I got divorced and I was just a musician, I was just a musician. Like, I wasn't in it because I was like, I couldn't believe some of the things about how some leaders were very, they preyed on the sheep. So back to the main point. Yeah. You have to be able to bring your relationship with God and your study of the word into alignment, because God should always confirm like what's been in your heart or what he's dealing with you with. A lot of times he'll confirm it or give you direction through your leader, through your spiritual, person.
And I think, like, the more and more that you develop your relationship with God, that helps to determine what you should and what you shouldn't do. Point blank.
100%.
That's it. Just point blank. Live based upon your convictions. And the Bible said that if you feel like what you're doing is right, he was like, you don't have to broadcast it to the world and say it, because somebody else's conviction may be totally different.
If you
don't eat meat, I ain't gonna eat
don't eat meat in front of your brother.
Right.
It's exactly. That simple.
It's that simple.
And
even though you may love meat, you may not just be able to eat your meat in front of that person because of their conviction. That's it. Like, if I was sitting at a table with a bunch of Muslims, I'm not eating bacon. Well, bacon is not pork.
We can't. When you gonna get delivered from that?
Like,
bro?
why you didn't say pork chop?
Okay, we ain't gonna eat pork chops.
Yeah, you could have just said, or you can say, I'm just not gonna eat pork.
We're not gonna eat pork. So yeah, you don't think so you would still eat bacon, just not pork?
Yeah, I'll eat bacon, just not pork.
You'll eat bacon in front of anybody.
Yeah.
In front of Jesus. It don't matter, like God himself.
Yeah.
He made it, right?
And I ain't gonna eat turkey bacon. I ain't gonna eat beef bacon.
You want that swine.
I'm just gonna eat bacon.
You want that good swine.
Eating bacon.
You want Wilbur.
I never said bacon is bacon. Now listen. Now we'll fall out about a whole bunch.
Listen,
we will not fall out about nothing.
There
but
will never
bacon,
be
but
a question of, is bacon God's love language to us?
It is.
What? Gotta keep a pack of bacon.
Gotta keep a pack of bacon. Well, listen, you guys. Let's see what to say. Get a relationship with God for yourself. That's
Facts.
key.
That's it.
Oh my God. In a marriage, it is a team effort. You and your spouse working together, making decisions, considering one another. That is it. Like, you have to consider.
That's the best way to put it.
That's the best way to consider.
So you used to tell me that all the time.
Yeah, just consider me. That's all I'm asking. Is just consider me. When you go in the store and get a drink, consider me.
Why, when you threw those out, you should consider me.
No, I could. I was listening. Yeah. That's good. Start the way you want to live out your life together. Trust the one who has the wisdom to handle the weight with maturity. Once they mess up, chance and opportunity. So, and here's even more to that, is that even when they mess up, you still got to give them room to grow and to be able to try it again.
Right.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to, sometimes it takes people more than one time, especially if it's something that they're not used to doing. So, I feel like that's where God grace abounds. Okay. It's okay to have a shared account and separate account, but let your spouse know what's in the separate account and they should be able to assess it if needed.
Facts.
I think that's good. That's
real
good. Somebody said something so good. When you expect 50-50, then when one is unable to give 50, the problems occur when the other has to cover the whole thing in a season. I agree.
Randy, you already know. Yep.
That's why I was like, let's just take the percentage off and let's just talk about what can be done.
Right.
Because everybody income and what they can bring to the table is different.
And in life,
yeah. Man, shoot. Okay. That's good. All right. Well, you guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. I just want to make sure. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for being on the couch with the Fombys.
Somebody said I'm with you on the bacon. Yes. Unity 7 Pro. You best believe it.
That's my friend over there.
Yes.
So listen, you guys, thank you so much for being on the couch with the Fombys.
Thank you, guys.
We're super excited to see you guys at Propheticon 4.0. Thanks for sharing out the broadcast, giving us a thumbs up. Boop, 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 boop. Can you take a minute and give us a thumbs up?
Share this with someone.
And share it with someone.
Heart, subscribe, all the good stuff.
Yes.
We love you guys. We can't wait to see you.
When y'all gonna give us a thumb up?
I think they did. They got like 8. What? I was looking at it. I think
that sucks.
I missed a thumbs up. I thought it was hearts. Because I don't even know there's thumbs on it.
It's thumbs up.
It is?
Yes.
Okay.
Like the kids say, subscribe, notification, give us a thumbs up.
Like, heart, and subscribe.
Like.
Oh, yeah. Like, heart, subscribe.
Yeah, that's Facebook. No, that's is that YouTube?
You can like this video. You can heart, I think, on the thing, and then you subscribe to our channel. Are we right? Ain't that right?
I'd rather just for them to give us a thumbs up.
Like, heart, subscribe.
Yes, it is
yes,
on
it
YouTube.
Is Unity.
Yep, we're on YouTube. JD and D Fombys Ministries. Okay, God bless you guys.
See y'all.
Are they gonna give us a thumbs up? Are they gonna give us a thumbs up?
I think
They did. Okay.
Thank you, Miss Brainfield.
Thank you, guys.
We'll see you guys soon.
God bless.
Bye-bye.